Okay, so last time, since we met our Kadra, you fought off Necron presence in Orbiana defense station. You managed to prevent station being scuttled to the atmosphere, and you realize that every human living being that was on the station, and apparently everybody on the surface of the planet got exterminated. Mostly because, as you find, like through hours of work through data deciphering, like data streams that were in the system from the Necron presence, that apparently, according to them, there is a Tyrannid presence on Thrax, which was the other planet that the Severan Dominator lost contact with. And they mostly try to figure out what's with the defense station, if they can get anything of use from it, and destroy any biomass that Tyrannids could use. And
That's a good idea.
As you cleared everything, well, you are on the station, which it's not destroyed, but the thing they done, I'm just gonna say that full functionality is like impossible to achieve, but you can restore like life support systems and basic defense grid, but nothing fancy. And I would imagine, let's say that, like, okay, before I say what's in there, what do you do? You're somewhat aware that, considering how your ship left and you didn't give them specific instructions like what they should do next, they will get back, but you don't know how long will it take.
I doubt that they would have left this solar system, so... That's Xanthus saying that, not me. I doubt that they would have left the solar system.
Re-establish contact and effectively tell them that at least as far as the station is concerned, we have an all clear.
Indeed. Wow, what's his name? Mayak. Send a message to my... Damn it, I'm kind of out of it right now. Mayak, send a message to the captain. Fortunately, Mayak is a master telepath. Yeah, but Mayak is, and I'm sure he would...
Yeah, we can use him as resource, like if you need to use powers. Actually, does he have power for that?
He should. He's a master telepath, and there's there's one power in there that's the one. He can basically send an astral projection.
If the Vox isn't restored,
my Vox
then yeah.
isn't.
Well, I mean, not yours, but the station's.
That's right, I forgot. We have to redo the... I can work on that.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we don't have to wait. We can just do a projection.
Okay, let's see. Threshold... Why is it threshold 7? It's not 7, it's 21.
If it's repairable, I will probably repair it.
7, but...
if he has mastery, it's reduced by 5. If he has power well, it's reduced by 2.
I'm gonna say I see 21 in brackets. I'm assuming that's his threshold.
Yes.
For this power. Input value, I don't see... Okay, submit, psi rating... Actually... Would he use that? Yeah, he would probably use that fettered. I mean, you guys would probably prefer
It's also safer to invoke.
We have time, yeah. Not in any rush.
Yeah, invoke.
Ow, damn it, fuck.
How does it work when you send a message and that ship? Because this is the same day when the ship, like, went...
Yeah, essentially... He has an out-of-body experience, and he contacts the astropath on the ship, and they have conversation.
Even while they're in the warp, as in doing warp jump. That's correct? I'm just asking to be sure.
Yes. There isn't really a extreme difference, at least so far as the telepaths are concerned. Inside the warp or out of the warp. It's actually probably a little bit faster inside the warp.
Okay.
More dangerous, but faster.
Yeah, obviously they won't be jumping out of, like they didn't jump out of system, like, not like that, but they were kinda under fire, so it wasn't that controlled, but yeah, it won't take that long. Okay, now let's see if I will be able to do projection. Psi rating 21, rather threshold. Wow, John would have won Psi rating 21.
Psi rating 21. What is it?
He's not an alpha level.
What
That's a
is
fucking
alpha level?
Alpha level starts at 12, I think.
Oh, okay, I was...
Mechanically.
Burning Princess has 14.
She's considered low-level alpha.
I don't know if that's what she really is, though. That's just what propaganda says.
Well, mechanically it's also. But yeah, she's 14, if I recall.
God damn it, John, why you didn't put...
Alpha Plus starts at, I think, 20 and above.
Where I can fucking see him...
Oh, no, that's a high
his
alpha,
psi
is
rating.
20
Jesus. What is it usually? 9? Because I cannot find it on his sheet.
4 is fettered for him.
Fettered, yeah, that's what I... But usually it's 9, yes?
His full is 9.
It's like 9.
Modifier...
if you're fettering, though, it has to be rounded down.
Yeah. Well, input value modifier, and I don't know what usual modifiers he gets.
If he's invoking, then it's going to be his bonus. And then a 4, I believe, if he has both power wells. And
okay, so that would be plus 14 total or plus 24 total?
What is his psi rating? Or his willpower bonus?
7.
Okay, 7, and he doesn't have a natural.
I'm looking for it, but I'm not sure.
So 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 5 for mastery, plus 2 for power well. So 21.
Okay.
He does fine.
It's good.
Okay. So yeah, basically in the background, us obviously repairing all that stuff is like several extended actions for Sigmund. So while he does that, he will be able to do anything else, and Mayek in that time is trying to and managing to establish contact with the astropath on the ship, which I think we even managed that guy. No. Oh, Ovis. Okay, so he's contacting Ovis.
Oops. Sorry.
Motherfucker rolled 100, not 100, he still got 5 degrees of success.
I'm going to leave that to the tech priest.
I can just imagine Sigmund like slapping his hand away.
Yeah, on the other hand, I imagine like he technically, on one hand, not 100 is considered always a failure, I think. On the other, that's still a success. I imagine like Zhao is doing something that technically helps, but for Sigmund, he like gives him a deadpan look. What the fuck are you doing? Like, stop.
It's like, oh no, I didn't do the proper rituals. Forgive me, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa.
So, yeah, Mayek would give you, after finishing projection, he would inform you that the guys, due to rather rush, need to evacuate. they are still in the sector, like still in the periphery subsector, which is like, but they manage to jump from Orbiana to. Well, they assumed that considering their Necron presence was there, they assumed, hey, we might get additional support, so you cut them like midway jumping back to Cool. And actually a question, is it possible like when they did the jump, like their midway jump, can they try to like stop it, like exit earlier than?
Yeah, it's not.
Yes.
They're not teleporting. They're taking a shortcut through the warp. They can leave the warp whenever they want, really.
They can also turn around if they really want. It would require a navigate warp and a navigate stellar on behalf of the pilot and the navigator.
It's just leaving too early might put them in a bad place.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, those previous rolls I did, let's see, they are for something else. Okay, yeah, at minimum I'm gonna imagine that both navigate, like the guys needed to make those rolls have like at least plus 20 advancement to that. Or probably even plus.
Damn, I have some good dudes.
So, yeah, I imagine Inquisitor of your stature is only trying to get that. So, yeah, they are making and they should arrive with 2 days.
Oh, goody.
I'm sorry, I had to take that call. Who's arriving?
No problem.
Our ship.
Okay, cool.
Well,
okay, apart from repairing, like restoring basic functions of the station to life, are you maybe not doing anything specific, but I don't know, do you try to look for something specific in that data?
Al, look through the data and tell me what you find.
If I recall, they were pretty much, if we can identify what it was that the Necrons were doing / looking for.
If there's anything relevant to that they hadn't already purged or taken. But I can look. You want me to do a roll or?
Not really. Let's say that this is what it gets you information. Actually, you can make a roll. It will be slightly harder, like minus 20, but you still should. Like digging deeper. Oh, let's say that you will get something
tech use or?
extra. If like deciphering and understanding and getting, like understanding data of single species, yeah, it can be under tech use, I guess.
I still do it at plus 10. Yep. What did I roll? Wow, a 4.
Nice roll. Okay, so obviously not gonna be that nice, and you don't find active order of battle and active like unit list of next. But you get a feeling that the let me find the map. Yeah, the Empire of the Severed is currently like firmly in the 4th, was it, nodal stage? When basically they are like waking up their line formations and like building up forces, stuff like that. Apparently, yeah, they have a Necron Overlord. Like you find like orders, which I imagine then like if you show them, then Zhao translates like basic orders like that. Logic assumes that they come from Overlord of Empire. And through that, because obviously they have like pretty advanced tech, and I imagine, even if not in books, I'm gonna say that yeah, they might have like. Actually, I might as well ask: is it fanon or canon, or is it assumption that Necrons might possess like means for long-range communication, like really long range that's not based on warp and FTL?
They don't have long-range communication. That's That's the only real Necron's problem, is that they are horrendously fractured. They don't have a particularly efficient means of contacting each other from exceptionally far away.
And
they gotta dig up their monoliths, and they can do ship-to-ship kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, you will find information that indicates, because you might start wondering like how the hell Tyrannids are here. Like there are no reports of Shadow of the Warp, at least no reports of like big hive fleet, which usually happens. And basically working with their data, you realize that, well, good news, the thing you did several years ago that Blackstone Heart worked, but bad news is that somehow a few of them, I mean in Tyrannid sense, a few, still quite some, managed to survive, and apparently according to Necron like assumptions, they changed their tactics again. They and they try a new, and they mention something what they call an alpha, or like maybe not alpha, like apex, which is not exactly something very new. Like I imagine you learned that the Tyrannids, like I'm not talking about level of the like the worst Tyrannid monster that there was. I forgot its name. But in lore there is this one uber epic guy that is
Biotitan?
Hive tyrants are the pinnacle of like the non Biotitan warrior forms.
There was a specific name for that. Basically a Tyrannid that retains. It was weird and strange.
That's all higher up Tyranids. They all what's it called? All the high-end warrior forms retain their memories when they die. That's what makes them strong. There's a really, really famous one. I think it's called like Old One Eye or something. That has he's like
no, that. Yeah, I will remember it later and like check it, because I remember there is a like specifically mentioned name that this is like holy shit. If this is this guy, then it's like wow.
But yeah, Hive Tyrants by nature, they're the commanders of the Tyranid forces. They're the link between the hive mind and the rest of the lower warrior forms. They don't truly die. The hive mind reabsorbs its consciousness and then downloads it into a new body when a new body is made.
Okay. All right.
Hive lords and hive tyrants and brood lords. That's the other one.
It was something else. Never mind. And apart from that, what else would you learn? Probably standard threat assessment. That actually, like Sigmund learns that, and Ja would also learn that because he needs him specifically. And it's up to you guys if you tell Mayek. Apparently, like Necrons do not give a fuck about it, so this is like one like offhandedly mentioned, almost like in their version of speaking, you know. But it says something along the lines of like disrupting warp, like something similar to Shadow of the Warp, but on lesser scale, but still problematic for example, Psyker. And apart from that, I don't know. Did I miss something that you would be interested in, and there's a chance it would be there?
I can't think of anything.
Nope. Jaz's recommendation is to blow the planet out.
Swarm Lord, that's what it is. I'm sorry. Not the Hive Tyrant.
Maybe it was this, yeah. Sorry, what was that?
Jaz's recommendation is to glass the planet.
Sigmund will agree.
Let's see here.
Explaining
since
that
no one has...
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Sigmund would agree, explaining that going through and the time and effort required in checking checking survivors would, it would make it pointless.
So
if I had a fleet of hospital ships with the necessary staff, then it might be feasible. But as it is, I can't check enough people in order to separate anybody who might be infected. So pretty much everything will be explained as far as, gene stealers and how they infiltrate planets.
Yes, I know of the gene stealers. That's the problem.
I suppose an assessment on the ground could be made, but at the very least, the fleet should be brought into position.
Oh, now I remembered. Oh, that was the Swarmer. That was the name I was looking for. This is actually the thing.
Yeah.
And in that data, I would find also another offhand mention. Maybe not offhand, but like mention like very little of it. Like theory, possibility of previously unencountered infiltrating form possible, but they wouldn't have any other details.
Aha.
That is extraordinarily worrying.
So, a new infiltrating form that we know nothing about. Possible gene stealer infiltration. A new strain of Tyranid that we don't know anything about.
If there are any records on planet, that'd be nice. Otherwise... the population should not be a priority as far as Jazz is concerned. They're lost.
And Xanthus is more or less agreeing.
Yeah, just a reminder, you did ask about it, so yeah, the population of the planet is not that, there is not that many of them. I think it was more like hundreds of thousands, not millions.
Because that's nothing.
That planet got pretty fucked up during the war with the orcs, and they got pretty hit hard already.
For sake of record, is there any such fleet in this sector? That is not a sector, of course there's one sector, but is there any such fleet in this subsector that would be capable of...
That would be capable of what?
Examining these individuals for possible infection.
We would have to summon every single hospital ship in the subsector fleet, which could take anywhere from weeks to months to assemble, and they have things that they're expected to do. I imagine the battle fleet will be rather intransigent about that.
Yeah, especially if we let slip that we're only talking about a few 100,000, not millions.
True.
Those ships have duties, mostly to tend to the wounded of the fleet.
True. And they are in the middle of a brutal civil war. In which case, The planet is most likely, as you said, lost. However, I am rather curious about this so-called new strain. It may be worth seeing, or maybe worth investigating, whether or not the planet holds any records of this that can be of use for future combat against the Tyranids. If they do, then we'll collect them and return to our ship. If they don't, oh well.
Whatever data has been collated here should be taken, and whatever data that might exist on the planet should be collected.
Of course.
If there is perhaps a handful of people who are politically expedient to be saved, a handful I can examine. But as far as the general population, there's not much I can do there.
Yeah, looking through what information we have, what information remains intact on the station. Do we know of anyone on the planet that's still alive that would be worth taking?
On Orbiana?
Politically important people.
According to Necron data, because they were here for some time, and according to them, no one is alive. You can go and try to use, I don't know, something to conduct a scanning, but shrug. I'm doing a shrug right now.
I think he meant on Thrax.
Yeah.
Thrax, I mean...
The place we're talking about possibly destroying.
Sorry, I'm confused now. I mean...
The planet under Tyranid invasion.
The planet we're talking about possibly exterminatusing. Is there anyone that's worth the effort to extract?
Well, it's kinda a tough question to ask. Like, per se, there's no... I mean, obviously, every planet has its own share of political leaders. Technically, I mean, depending on how you look at it, if somebody from that Imperial regiment, if it's still alive, if they survived, and if they are not infected, getting someone evacuated from this unit might get a boost to morale, that the spirit of the Imperium is fighting on, and the Emperor's Hammer, Imperial Guard is called Emperor's Hammer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would be assuming that A, they are still alive after all of these years, fighting guerrilla war, and B, they are not infected and played like a puppets by the Tyranids. But if you're asking if there's any important lore-wise character or something on the lines, then I don't really think so.
No. Then yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, currently the only benefit of not doing immediate Exterminatus and going to planet to try to figure it out, like, about these forms, is, like, the benefit, like, would be gathering first-hand experience on these new forms. Because it might be an exception, or maybe, like, the change and new forms will also be introduced in, so to speak, in other hive fleets.
Yeah, if we're going to do anything, it would be for the data. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I guess we should do that.
We're not here to help you. Sorry about that.
They don't know. They don't have to know that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Besides, it's actually if there is any target that should be Exterminatus, maybe it's not really it, but you could have, you might have had worse target, like more populated. This one is, I hear a Skype call from someone.
It was Gabriel.
Sorry.
Get your shit together, man.
I don't know why when I decline something on there, it goes to my phone.
Okay.
I see.
Okay, I'm gonna be nice. Nobody thought about it, and maybe you don't want to do it, but just so you know, there's well, there might be some outposts, etc. Maybe not everything got destroyed, like they annihilated organic forms. But if you want to acquisition more resources, if there's a chance that there might be vehicles surviving, there is a military base on Orbiana. Just suggesting. I'm not trying to.
That might be pushing our luck with what I mean. It might be we could look into it, but it might be pushing our luck with what we could get away with.
Yeah, I'm not trying to derail you from going to Frax.
I mean,
I'm just mentioning
everything
certainly not be against it.
Everything organic on Urbana was completely destroyed, correct?
According to Necron reports, yes.
And we can imagine that at least as far as killing bioforms, they're probably pretty thorough.
I mean, actually, if you
look,
look,
an inventory of what was on planet.
Yeah, the planet itself, like, it's not. It doesn't have this many colors like I used. Like, if you looked, I imagine, like, if you found like a, what's the word? Like not balcony of sorts, like, you know, long window when you can like look on the planet. So I'm not that good with science and biology, but you can pretty safely imagine that if majority of bioforms were annihilated, then the planet looks almost like pretty much dead. Like lack of any sort of green, really like no blue, like no visible water sources. Very desert-like. And it's less that they didn't like use like their equivalent of nuclear weapons, more like bioweapons or viruses.
Bomb. Probably like a virus bomb.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I only suggested it because a lot of times like players are like gonna get the loot, and nobody of you thought about it, so I'm like, might as well be nice and suggest it. I'm not saying that there will be a lot of stuff that survived, but I'm just...
If anything in the inventories that we see on, you know, the station that they were aware of had been placed on the planet catches our eye, that'd be fine. Otherwise, I mean, the fleet can come in and requisition whatever's left at their convenience. It's a dead world now, so it's not going anywhere. But I think Thrax is slightly more pressing at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so you know. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I mentioned it, and maybe mentioning it now might be a dick move, but I'm gonna say, allowing you to have weapons capable of conducting Exterminatus on a light cruiser is slightly pushing it, unless I'm mistaken and actually in lore, canon-wise, light cruisers can have Exterminatus weapons.
The weapons themselves, they're not special in terms of size or anything. They're special in what they can do. So if our ship can fire torpedoes, if our ship can fire torpedoes, it can also fire cyclonic torpedoes, which are the main exterminatus tool in the 41st
We probably also would want some virus torpedoes. So if we need to meet back up with the fleet or have a few more ships requisitioned, I mean, they're not doing anything really special, just coming over here and bombing the shit out of it.
Yeah. Virus bombing is very much out of vogue, at least for the Inquisition in the 41st millennium, because it feeds Nurgle. It requires more bombardments than cyclonic torpedoes do. Cyclonic torpedoes is just more economical.
But I mean, considering what we're up against, might not it be maybe both?
Okay, so I'm gonna say that you.
Well, I suppose we could cyclonic and then
cyclonic torpedoes destroys the planet. It hyper activates tectonic activity. That planet will be a giant hot rock when we're done with it.
And will that be enough? Tyranid spores are very resilient.
Before I answer, what I want to say that okay, that means you